All right. Oh, I'm off stage. Okay, go on stage. Go on stage. Hey, everyone. I am now on stage. Takes me like 2 or 3 buttons. Oh, good. Okay, so I'm glad the two Delaware people found each other because there was a question about Delaware in the pre-submitted questions that I was like, I will connect you with other people. So
Works out.
Well, that worked out perfectly. We were both concerned about that. So welcome to our coach chat about unblocking and downloading your games. We are joined by April. I'll give a little intro, and then we'll also have Chance to answer questions. And then we will have a small networking session afterwards if you want to stay. It'll last about 30 minutes, and then we can go on with our evening. So I'm Melanie. I work with the community team. I'm a former educator who just loves teaching teachers and learning about esports and things like that. So this worked out. So we are joined by April. And I'm going to read your wonderful bio. I didn't bring it up, of course, but it's beautiful, so I love to read it. So April is one of our super coaches. She is the East facilitator at Northside High School in Fort Smith, Arkansas. She spent time as an elementary librarian before moving over to teaching technology at the high school level. She and her students began the esports program at Northside in 2019 as an East project. Their program has made it to the state championship for the last 2 years, both runner-up in League of Legends and Rocket League in fall of 2020. Their program continues to grow with players receiving attention from colleges all over the nation, which is very exciting to hear. So welcome, April.
Thanks.
And then I'm also going to intro you to Chance. He had like some connection issues and dropped, so hopefully he can hop back in. But Chance has been coaching at Rocky Mountain High School since fall 2019, popular year for us. Their esports program currently includes Rocket League and League of Legends. They are looking to expand into Overwatch, Fortnite, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate this year. Their Rocket League team won both the fall and spring state titles in 2020 and 2021. Congratulations, that's amazing. The League of Legends team has made the playoffs both seasons. Wow. The goal of their program is to bring students together on a foundation of fun, hard work, empathy, and achievement. And so Chance has some background on unblocking and getting the right IT people in connection with you to help you unblock your games. So welcome, Chance. I'll try to get you back on as the presenter as well. I will be hopping off and April's going to be taking over, but I will be in the chat. Before we do that, I'm going to kind of go over this new setup, this new platform. If you've been on the past couple sessions, please just zone out for a second, free like commercial break for you. So we have the chat. You can do event or private. Like I see somebody messaged me. The event chat will be saved. Private chats will not. You have people that you can see in the Q&A. That's where you ask questions. You can upvote. So if somebody asks a question that's similar to one that you like, please upvote it. That kind of moves it up on the question log. And then we have polls. I don't think we posted any polls this time, so you get a freebie on that one. That's okay. I forgot too. So, here we go. So anyways, I'm going to hop off. Thank you for joining us. And April, you'll share your screen and you'll be ready to go.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and this is, of course, where I'm from home, so I don't have my dual monitors. So if you're asking questions, I know that Melanie and Chance will take care of that. And if I screw this up, they'll take care of me too. I forgot to put on there, Melanie, my kids are the Smash Bros. Champions for Arkansas from this last spring. I've got to update that. But like she said, welcome. This is my second season as a super coach, and so I like to do these kind of things. I like to try to help, all the new coaches coming into it because, I was there once, and I don't have a lot of experience playing these games. I have some good tech knowledge, but it's kind of self-taught. So I feel like that's helpful, someone coming from that side of things. She's already done welcome introduction. So this is kind of like today's agenda, going over some important IT things you kind of just need to have some knowledge on, how to go through and download all the games, and then, like she said, like some Q&A and networking at the end. So, IT concepts. For me, I think your first step always has to be, and if most of you are starting a program, you probably already have this, your admin involvement. Like you have to have that admin on your side because the next thing you're going to go talk to is your IT department about how you can get all of these games opened up on the network. And sometimes IT guys are a little hesitant. Sometimes they're big gamers and they're all for it and they're going to do whatever they can to help you. But it's if they're giving you problems, if you have that admin backing you up, it just makes your life a little bit easier. And then if you didn't already know, there is an inclusion list on PlayVersus. I call it a whitelist, and that's probably what most of your IT guys will call it too. But this gives them, we'll go ahead and open it. For every game, it gives you what you need equipment wise, but it also gives them the specific IP addresses that have to be opened up for the games to work on the school network. So you don't really have to know all of this stuff. If you just hand your IT department this list of things right here, it's going to answer 98% of the questions they have about what you're doing. Excuse me. But like I said, that is listed on the PlayVersus website. If you go to I can't like any of those on your dashboard. If you click on any of those things where it takes you to where all of like the rule manuals and all that stuff is, you can search for it and it will be there. And then, you have to know like what games you're going to start off with because there's no point in you like worrying about downloading the stuff for all the games. Just focus on what you're going to do and know which games you have to get downloaded onto the equipment and how to back those up. But if you have these three things and you're talking to your IT department, it should be pretty smooth sailing. I mean, there's always going to be bumps along the road, but these things take care of most of the problems. But like I said, it's scary for some IT guys to open up these things to the firewall because you're opening up the firewall. It's a little scary for some IT guys. The big thing you have on your side though is if your state athletic association has sanctioned esports for your state, like you have that in your back pocket of, look, we're a sanctioned activity. This is what we need to happen. But there also are some alternatives. Like they don't have to open these up 24/7. They can say, okay, we're going to have a time frame for when all this stuff's open. And you tell us when your practices are going to be, you tell us when your matches are going to be, and we'll set a schedule so that that's the only time all of these are opened up. They can have a separate login on the network PC so that only your esports kids know how to log on to that stuff, and then that activates for all the ports to open up. The same thing with specific machines. Like they can just pull the IP addresses off specific machines and only open them for those. But, don't feel like you're going to take on every game all at once. It's a lot of games. It's 7 games. And while that doesn't sound like a lot, it's a lot if you try to take that on all at the beginning. So try to focus in on just like 1 or 2 games to start off with that are going to appeal to a lot of your students. They give you some time to learn how to do all this stuff and get comfortable with it before you look into growing your program. As far as downloading for each individual games, the games, like I said, they have to be installed on your devices. So that's something you have to plan for. The PlayVersus, that is a website. So you're not downloading anything from that. PlayVersus is just where you're going to see your match schedule, to schedule scrimmages, to set your teams and all of that. But that's all online. It's just a website. For the games, those have to be downloaded. And sometimes that is you're going to a website to download it, but you're downloading it to the PC or the console. And each player has to have an account on that game so that they can log on. So there's a lot of little steps to get set up, but once you have that process set up, it's very simple every week to run your games. I already talked about that. Sorry, Melanie. PlayVersus, it shouldn't be blocked in any way, shape, or form. The only thing I could see it getting blocked is if like your IT department has like games filtered out, you might have to go talk to them about opening that up. But again, it's just a website. It shouldn't be a problem for them to open that up. Once they're in there, you as a coach have an account. You will have your students sign up, you'll add them onto your teams, and then the students have to go into their settings and they have to connect their game accounts within Playverses, because that's how the match codes and all of that stuff gets sent out to them. So I'm sure you might have questions on that, but it's a lot easier than what I just made it sound. For League of Legends, this is a PC only game. So it's downloaded directly on the computers. Players have to have a League of Legends account that they log into, and then they have to connect that account onto their Playverses account so that Playverses is able to actually send them the match day code and they can actually get into the game. But it is just a web. You can just Google League of Legends download, and it'll take you to where you download it. It takes less than 3 minutes to download it, and that's good to go. It does have weekly updates a lot of times. So that's one of those games that definitely, morning of matches, you want to go check it for updates, because they push out a lot of patches. Where's this link go? Let's go see. There it is. But yeah, it's literally, you just download it for Windows. It's that easy. Smite gets a little tricky. It is cross-platform, but PC is recommended. But the problem with doing it cross-platform is if you have students who are playing it on PS4, which is more likely how you have players playing Smite, but if they play it on PS4, then the match codes from Playverses won't work for your team. And the problem with that is like, one of the nice things about having a Smite team is that if you use the match codes, they get all of the champions unlocked, all the gods unlocked. But if you have to make a custom match, then they're not getting that unlock on Smite. So that is something to keep in mind. It can be downloaded directly to the PC or onto their console. It's free. Again, they just have to create a Smite account, and then they connect that Smite account to Playverses. Smite is a bigger game. It has many options for how they can log in. So I have mine log in through Epic Games, but the problem with that is if they had a pretty high rank on their PS4, then as of right now, they kind of lose their ranking. It doesn't show up when they log in on Epic Games. Smite has a lot of weird little quirks like that, so you kind of just have to work with your players to figure out what's going to be best for your program. None of my players were that higher rank, so I was just like, we're getting over it. We're doing it through Epic, because that way I don't have to install Steam on my computers. Rocket League is cross-platform. Again, PC is recommended for all of these games, because the intent for Playverses is that eventually, like, we'll get back to, like, you have to play your matches at school. And so, but for right now, Playverses is still allowing play from home. So that's why the cross-platform's there. It does get a lot more tricky with Rocket League for the match codes to work. They have to do Rocket League through Epic. They cannot do it through Steam, and you will have students who will try to do it through Steam, and they have to do it through Epic. They have to log in, and then they have to link their Epic account. The extra step you have to do with Rocket League is right here in the rules. There's a website they have to go to, and they log in, and it'll pull up like all the platforms that they have a Rocket League account on, and they have to actually link those accounts together, and they can choose their highest rank by doing that. It's kind of nice, but that way they're logging in through Epic. And if all of your players have done that, and all of the players from the other team have done that, then when you go to play a match, the match codes will generate from Playverses. If one person doesn't log in through Epic, or hasn't gone and linked their platforms like they need to, then the match codes will not work. So these steps are like above on your match day on Play Versus. The steps are there showing the kids how to do it. I made my kids do it in front of me because they're kids and they're going to say, yeah, I did that. They didn't do it. Make them do it in front of you. Once they see how easy it is and that they're not going to lose their highest ranking, then they usually don't have a problem after that. For the Nintendo games, these are Switch only. Like I said, we did play Smash Bros. Last year, and I've got kids excited to play Splatoon 2 this year. The games have to be downloaded onto the Switch. They have to have a Nintendo Online membership, which is $20, I think, for a year. It's not bad. The other thing I would recommend to you is if they're using their own Switches especially, but even if you've bought them for your program, don't do it on the Wi-Fi for your school. Go invest in a USB to Ethernet adapter, and you have to get the Nintendo brand one because then you can hardwire their Switches, and it's going to make the game interaction so much smoother. We had a couple of times last season where the school we were playing, they were on Wi-Fi, and it was painful because it was a slow drag of the other team's character across the screen while our guy's sitting there moving in real time. So the USB to Ethernet adapters are a must. My guys realized how much better it was to play hardwired that they actually bought them so they could play hardwired at home because it just improved the gameplay so much. And the adapter is like $30. It's not crazy. PS4 games, that's Madden and FIFA. These are PS4 only. So you either, again, have to have the games downloaded or you have to have the game disc for them to play on, and they have to have a PlayStation Plus membership, which I think you can get a 3-month one for like $25, and 3 months will cover a season. If you wanted to do a year, it's more like $60. So things to keep in mind as you're building your program, like PS4s are hard to find right now, if you didn't know, and they're pricey still. So maybe that's not where your program needs to start but again, we're allowing play from home. So if you had a team that had the equipment at home and had all of that stuff already, then maybe it's worth your while to let them put a team together to play from home. Just things you're going to have to think about for your own program. I'm kind of a mix of things overall. So, Melanie, did you need to go over this?
I'm back. Awesome. I am going to add the caveat that not all states are play from home. So please check with your
state. No.
Yeah.
Arkansas play from home.
Arkansas play from home. Most states are. There's just a handful. I know off the top of my head, Georgia is not.
I did know that. I'm sorry.
From spring. So I'm not 100% sure on fall. So I jumped back on because we are excited to have this new coach handbook that we've been working on with these beautiful tables that kind of go over what April just went over. And so it gives you kind of a quick synopsis of what you need for each game. So this one specifically is the connections guide or the connections summary. And what's important is that you do need to remember that every player that's playing needs to have their game connected. And you'll hear all of us say this over and over again because it causes issues if your players are not connected or if they connect a different account, which does happen. So please, please, please make sure whatever account they are using is the one that is signed into their settings. So I recommend at least the first couple of weeks double checking every time or have a team captain assigned to do that. And then this goes over like the benefits for that. League of Legends is the huge one where they get champion unlock. Same thing with Smite. They get the in-game characters. But then there's a lot of the match recording that happens because of it. Your match may go into quarantine if the player is not. And I think we added a new feature that on your actual roster, it will like be bright that your players are not connected. And so you need to make sure that if you see that, you talk to your player. Coaches can't do it for the players have to do it. So make sure that you get that done or you won't be able to play. And all of this unblocking and downloading is for naught. Okay, can you go to the next slide? This one is more to what we were talking about today. So it's a little overview of the games that we're supporting for fall, and then how many players, and then the hardware needed. So if I look at League of Legends, I see that there's 1 per player. You can do 5 PCs or max per team. So it kind of gives you a breakdown, because I honestly forget every time. So I have to have a little cheat sheet for myself so that when I'm looking at this, I remember. So these are available. I'll put the link in. We're starting to, you'll probably see this pop up now because it's new. You're the first ones I think that I've shared it with. So I'm excited to share that. I am going to invite Chance to come on too. We'll do Q&A now. Brian is the creator. Thanks, Brian. I didn't ask permission to share this. I just shared it. So I'm going to move Chance on, and you can close. You can stop sharing if you want, and it'll just be all of us. And then you've got some Q&As. What we'll just do is I'll start at the top and read them, and you all, why is it not working? Okay, Chance, I'm going to try again. And then if we are good, I'm going to smile through it. Yay, technology. Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
It's just me. They gotta work. I was looking.
I can't get it to work. Okay, so Chance is just going to answer in the chat, I guess, because I don't know. And then we'll move to the networking session, and Chance will be able to hop in and chat there too. Okay, so here we go. Is there cross-platform support for games, and can Smite kids play on Xbox, PS4, computer at the same time, or is it just one system for all team members? Great question.
They can play on all of them at the same time. So my Smite team last year was a mix of PC and PS4. So, but again, we had to do custom matches for all of our games. So I would tell you try to push it so that they're using PCs, but if it's just not possible, then just know, and they need to know that they're giving up that extra feature of getting the gods unlocked for the games. And you have to work with the other school to set up a custom match and make sure that they're okay with it, which most of them are, because most of them are in the same boat you are. So
awesome. Thank you. We had major problems connecting our Switch to our school network. Our IT guys did a bunch of research to try to get it connected, and it never worked. We had to use a mobile hotspot to play. Is that normal for Switches?
I think I would ask, were you trying to do Wi-Fi when connecting it? Because it's a lot trickier, like I said, to do the Wi-Fi. And if you look on that inclusion list that is linked on Playversus, it's like a ridiculous number of ports that have to be opened up for the Switches. And, again, IT people freak out when you're opening up like a whole section. But if you use the hardwire Ethernet, like Chance said, it should work very quickly. It's the Wi-Fi that gets a lot harder, but I promise you your gameplay is going to be so much better if you use Ethernet and hardwire it.
Awesome. Yeah, if you're taking a look at the chat, Chance is saying typically you use Ethernet, it should work right off. So great feedback. And then also to the previous question about cross-platform, Rocket League is the same way. You can play on different devices.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. If you are part of like Youth League, Fortnite works that way. It's pretty cool technology. I get a little amazed by it every time.
Yeah, and like I said, Rocket League is much, if you can get all of your kids to connect their platforms and then connect their Epic onto Playversus, then the match codes work great, and it's amazing. It's so much easier, but there's always going to be kids that don't do it right. So it's just you as the coach having to follow up and make sure that they've gone through all the steps they need to go through.
Cool. Okay, what about games like FIFA and Smash? Since those are console only, are they more difficult to play with match codes?
I didn't have any problems with them. The FIFA and Madden, the tricky part of it is it's like you're not really doing a match code. It's they give you have your so-and-so versus so-and-so, and it has their PS4 names listed there. And so whoever's the home team has to send a friend request to the other person. And they accept that friend request and then they set their match up. So as long as everybody knows that they need to be looking for that friend request, then it was pretty smooth. Like Madden was the easiest game I had to set up. It just took forever to play a game. And Smash, honestly, the way we did it so we could stream it, and I would recommend this because we would do an arena and then we would send the arena ID code to the opposing team, and everybody would join in the arena. And then whoever was supposed to be versing, they would jump in, play their matches, jump out, and then we'd play the next ones. But because we did that, we were able to set up streaming of our Smash matches. Whereas if we had been playing on 3 separate switches and not in just one arena, we wouldn't have been able to stream. We would have had to go back and like edit 3 streams together, and I ain't got time for that. So, that's how I would recommend doing it. Doing the arena worked really well for us. If you're getting some lag from the network, then you can just have everybody jump out of the arena, except for the 2 people who are playing, and then just rotate in and out.
Awesome. And then how can we get the games downloaded to be able to hold tryouts?
Like I said, it's very easy to download them, honestly. Like the PC games, just in Play Versus, it tells you where to go. You just go to that website and download them. All of these games will download and install very quickly. Even if you're fresh installing Epic and then installing Rocket League, I mean, if you're doing it on the school network, you're talking at most 20 minutes of your time to get those installed. They're really not hard to install. With Epic, because Rocket League is a free-to-play game, then all you're doing is you install Epic, you log into it. I just make like a general account for our program, and that's what the streamer uses too. And then you just go to their store and you search for Rocket League, and it's free, so then you just add it. And then it'll install everything, and then every week you check it. So updates will catch you if you're not staying on top of them.
Yeah, especially for Smite. That one gets a lot of people.
Smite is just frequent. It's just frequent.
I just remember it taking forever the few times I tried to download it. Awesome. Any more questions for April or Chance that you want to ask out here? I linked that handbook. Thanks to Brian in the chat. He is the one who really got this handbook together, and it has like great resources for you to look over if you're new. Okay, so Chance is saying it really depends on how tight your IT is. Ours took about a month back and forth with the district to get everything unblocked, but once they have it for one school, they can deploy the same policies for the rest of the district.
And I mean, that's where I would like definitely find out other coaches in your area too, because if they've got it unblocked and they've worked with their IT, and if your IT is struggling or giving you pushback on it, then, having those people that you can say, well, hey, this school's doing it. Can you talk to this IT person? Sometimes that's all it takes, because, sometimes the IT guys they don't like to talk to us teachers. They don't think we know what we're talking about. They only want to talk to other IT people. And, with me and my made up IT language, that's totally a legit reason not to talk to me. But, yeah, like I said, if most of us at this point, like it's sanctioned in some way by your athletic association. So really, because it's sanctioned, your IT needs to do what needs to happen to make the games possible. It's just sometimes they have to talk to another IT person to be willing to do it.
Yeah. And that might be a great thing to pop into the coach Discord and be like, hey, anybody else? I know there's Delaware people, so I'm just going to use it. Like, hey, anybody else here from Delaware? I'm needing help getting some IT ports unblocked, and I would love to have our IT connect. So that could be something you do too if you're not able to get your IT on board immediately. Is there a contact at PlayVersus that can help me with that? Yes, I think so. I'll have to look up who is the right person for your state. So yeah, you should have a rep that you can talk to. You can always schedule a consultation call directly from the website as well if you pick your state. Do esports teams do a lot of fundraising to purchase? So we didn't talk about fundraising, but we could address it here if April and Chance, you have time. So do your teams do some fundraising to purchase the equipment, or do you have a lot of support from your district?
I'm kind of a mix of both. My athletic director is slowly coming to my side of the world. So this was, like I said, I started spring of 2019. So last spring was my 5th season. I don't really know. I don't do math. But that was the first season I got paid for being a esports coach. I don't get paid a lot, but it was something. And because he was willing to bend on that, then this year we're working on a budget for my program. So I kind of had to play the long game, but because I was willing to be patient and play the long game with him, while he looked for money, he was willing to go to bat for me with the school board, and he handled all of that side of things. So it's one of those things where it's going to be different. Like, you might get a lot of support from your school, but I know a lot of them, do the activity fees like Chance said. And we do add in some fundraising to like supplement what we get from the district. So that's going to be one of those things that's really just, you're going to have to kind of feel it out in your district and, go from there and talk to other schools around you and see how it's being handled.
Yeah, and then Chance put they do an activity fee for about $40 to cover the cost of play versus, and then he also teaches in his computer lab, so he has access to that already. And many of the games are free as of right now, so that's helpful. I put in the chat from our previous coach chat, so we've been doing coach chats for the past 2 seasons. This is our 3rd season, so it's a great coach chat on fundraising and sponsorships, and we delve into some of that, like how do you get sponsors and things. But I found Ritual Motion, who also hosts these with us, they have these storefronts that you can have them help you design your merch, and you get like a certain percentage of each sale. So one, you can kind of create really cool swag, and they base it off of your price points that you want for your school. So they have like the same shirt, but in different brands. With the same logo. So it's pretty cool. I recommend checking it out if you're looking for like a fundraiser that is a little more active, but you don't have to do all the hard work. They do the shipping and distribution. They do all the like direct payments. You just have to contact them to get it set up. And from my experience with them, just with RM Guild, like they are super helpful, and I highly recommend. They're a great group to work with. And then we also have like a fundraising like suggestion. You could like host a little tournament if COVID allows, and if you can do it maybe online. But some people do like a little Smash tournament where kids pay like $5-10, and then that raises money. And then other people contact local sponsors, and that's how they get things paid for, as long as they put the logo. And then I'll try to find the link from Josh the last 2 weeks talked from Bitespeed. They have a list of grants and fundraising suggestions as well. So there's some suggestions out there, but just like April said, like you kind of have to feel out what works for your school and your community and what's allowed at your school. I've worked at schools where they had very strict rules on like how to fundraise, how to collect money. So all that said, please talk to your administrator as always.
And I will say the tournaments, doing like little quick tournaments are a fast way to raise some money. Very low maintenance on your part because you already have everything in place probably. It's just setting aside, 2 hours, 3 hours one night and doing a pop-up tournament or one weekend. So they're pretty low maintenance. Most of your money off that is just like any other sport. You're going to make it off the concessions that you sell. But, when we do them, we tend to say like 70% of the door is what we're going to get for the prize money. So, and then, our profit comes from selling concession stuff. But I try not to charge my kids a fee, but we're very, very low income school. And so I know my kids need the money they work for other things. So I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. I'm sure one day it's going to come, but for right now, I've been lucky that I don't have to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's most of our questions. I'm going to check the chat again. Awesome. Well, when we pop into the networking, it will not be recorded. So if you're watching recording, thanks for joining us. and we will work on getting our other presenters up. I don't know why poor Chance couldn't join us. So we will do that. So we will end this session. There's like a 4-second, 5-second delay. It'll push you into the networking. You'll see little circles and you have to join a circle. So that's kind of how it works. Last time I forgot to prompt people to join a circle, so my bad. The chats in that will not be recorded. So any important information from there, please write it down, screenshot it, save it so that you can remember it, because I am the type that forgets stuff like that. And so I will end session. I always forget the button, so apologies for talking out loud to myself. And we're going to go networking. Thanks for joining us, everyone.